No, the title isn't clickbait this time. I genuinely love Devil May Cry 4. Now, for complete transparency, this is more of a sequel to my video that, yes, did have a very clickbaity title, Why I Hate Devil May Cry 5. And one of the reasons I hate it is I like the other games in the series more. I don't think it stands up to them. Now, let's just get straight into what I want to talk about. The enemy design in DMC4. Now, I will admit, the Scarecrows pale in comparison to Devil May Cry 1's marionettes, but they're still pretty solid. They come in 3 variants, and have plenty of visual variety as far as colours, like the marionettes. They might appear erratic, slow and clunky, but they will sneak up on you and maybe get a hit in or two if you're not paying attention. I also love how they sound. Their laughter and that makes me feel warm inside as I destroy them. Compare that to the Impulsors, which are uninspired demon bugs that, while attack clearly, they attack very slowly. There's nothing challenging about fighting them. The only one that I've ever felt threatened by is the Impulsor Queen. Otherwise, like, no matter the numbers, I'm not really worried about messing up a combo unless I'm sloppy, which does happen, because I'm going to be sloppy against an enemy that's that easy. Next I'm going to be discussing 2 bosses, Burial and Goliath. These 2 bosses are the best examples of what I love about Devil May Cry 4 and what I think Devil May Cry 5 fails at. Both are the first main, big boss of each game that Nero fights. Both are huge, horned monsters, and both have very similar end goals. Burial is a massive centaur lion hybrid demon covered in fire with charred skin. He sets the entire environment around him on fire just by being there and walks right past Nero without a care in the world. One puny human isn't worth fighting. Then Nero spins around and puts all the fire out using his blade. This makes Burial intrigued, naturally.
Fire's bad for the complexion. I burn easily, never tan.
When I came to this world 2,000 years ago, there was no such human as the likes of you.
Wanna make it another 2,000?
He only decides to actually fight him when Nero won't stop interrupting him. Goliath is a large, angry bipedal goat demon with a mouth in his chest, who immediately tries to kill Nero on the spot. He talks big, it seems very, very stupid.
Sorry to disappoint you. Hey, you ever see a guy around here about this big uses a cane? I was supposed to meet him. Did you snack on him?
Nero puts it best here.
I don't know. I mean, you're a big guy and all, but you seem more like a knuckle-scrapping fart in the wind than anything else. No offense.
Now, Goliath isn't a bad boss compared to Burial, nor is it like the Burial is the greatest fight in the DMC franchise, but narratively, one of these demons feels like there's a powerful and legitimate threat, and the other feels like a giant lumbering idiot. I don't feel threatened by Goliath. I don't think fighting and beating him shows off how strong Nero is, or is cool. You can't even body him in the first playthrough because you don't have your Devilbringer yet. If you want to do a stupid, useless demon, Bale is more interesting, because he's a giant, smelly frog that's mad that people think he's gross. Like, he complains about as much as Goliath, but Bale is way more petty and way more entertaining. I mean, he lures people in with these weird siren lamp things, and the sound he makes hopping around is really funny. Goliath could have been so much more. The chest mouth is cool, but maybe it could have done more. I don't know, I just prefer this over this. Because, I mean, look at the two of them. If you had to fight one yourself, you'd pick Goliath, because, at the very least, he doesn't have a sword and isn't on fire. Where do I even begin? Look at Credo's design. An artificial demon made to look like an angel. Look at his halo on his head. It's just two devil horns curved into an halo. He also doesn't look like a generic angel. I mean, one of his arms being a wing separates him from most depictions of angel enemies in games. Speaking of that arm wing, it's one of the major mechanics of the boss fight. Working very similar to the other Angelo enemies in the game, he can block and counter attacks with it until it eventually breaks. This keeps the fight excellently paced as it stops you from completely wall-upping him with combos. You have to wait for an opening, and even then it doesn't take much damage until the shield is down. This makes it feel like a duel between two equals. And he's got a nice pile of insults throughout the fight to taunt you with. Also, I really like the way he slicks back his wings like it's a cape. Speaking of which, Cavalier Angelo fails where Credo succeeds. 1. The design is meh. I mean, given this series' plethora of Dark Knights. Then the actual fight itself, while they do block with the Cavalier cape, and that is pretty cool, it doesn't actually do much to prolong the fight, all things considered. It's very easy to break through and deal a ton of damage very quickly. Then there's when they teleport away and charge up an attack, leaving them entirely vulnerable to a plethora of high damage ranged attacks. Not to mention, as a character, they have way less threat. They're essentially a walking prison with Trish inside it. This makes it constantly saying Sparta and Dante, a mix between funny and sad. I never thought I'd use the following words in my life, but Cavalier Angelo doesn't have the same aura as Credo. It's all well and good in a character action game to have a varied moveset and powerful attacks, but if your enemies don't scale to that level, the enemies don't feel like much of a threat, and then you don't feel as powerful. Devil May Cry 4 has a lot of problems, but pretty much every enemy feels like something that, in universe, is actually a substantial threat to overcome, especially the bosses. Finally, this isn't to say that Devil May Cry 5 is bad or doesn't have good bosses, King Cerberus and Virgil being my personal highlights. But it's bogged down by a lot of bosses that, if not visually and story-wise unappealing, are actually just not fun, like Gilgamesh. Devil May Cry 4 might have fewer bosses, total, but the only one I'd outright call bad is the Savior, but at least it carried threat to it. Hopefully if Devil May Cry 6 ever becomes a thing, they bring back more old enemies and maybe even a boss, rather than reinvent the wheel. Worse. It's always more original to reuse something unique to the series' identity than create a lesser, more generic version of something already existing in it.